Okay, new year, new safety tip for teens and parents. Today, let's talk about sextortion. Watch me whip. All right, you hear the word sextortion. What does that mean? Some of you may know what it is, some of you may not. So let me just give you a quick rundown. Sextortion is where, just like normal extortion with financial means, somebody is blackmailing you with sexually explicit material of yourself to be able to get either financial gains, or a more traditional version is to get you to send more sexually explicit content. Unfortunately, this is happening a lot to our teenagers. They're falling victim to it every day. I personally take probably 5 sextortion cases a month in my jurisdiction of 80,000 people. It's happening. And if you don't think it's happening, you need to wake up. The purpose of this video is to teach you how to recognize it and what to do if it happens. So first, let's talk about, where do the predators lurk to find their next sextortion victims? It's easy. They find them on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all social media platforms, they're there. Think of predators online like lions. They are laying out there in wait, just hiding among the big tall grass, and they're looking for the weakest person. The strong people, the people that know these kind of tips that I'm going to share with you, they don't fall victim to it and they move on. It's the weak ones, the easy targets, the easy prey that they're getting. And unfortunately, it's often our teenagers. So how do predators sextort our victims? How does it all work? Here's how it works. First, they get on a platform, let's say for this example, Instagram. They create a fake Instagram account and they call themselves Olivia blah, 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 or whatever, right? So that it sounds like a young girl, or they sound like a young boy, whatever they're going to call themselves. Then they start adding friends and they choose a location. Let's say they're going to get people in New York. They start adding people from New York, and they're adding teenagers. But what they do is they add teenagers, and when they make their profile, they make themselves purposely under the age of 18, because a lot of these social media sites have a protection that if you are 18 or older, you can't see a minor's profile. So they skirt that by putting in fake date of births that put them younger. Then they start adding all these people, and they start to add friends of these friends. When they add them, teenagers, they look at their phone and they think, oh, they're friends with Johnny and Jerry and Sam and whoever, right? And they're like, oh, they're friends with all these people, so they must be legit. So they add them, and that's how they grab them first, right? The hook's out there. The next thing they do is they start messaging, and they message all these people. And as they message these people, they start to throw it out like, hey, how's it going? And they start to build rapport, and they build it quickly. Now remember, these kids don't know these perpetrators in real life, but they act like they're best friends almost from the get-go. That should be the first red flag. Then they start to ask, or maybe they start to send nude photos of themselves, or talk sexually explicit, or start to get into that realm of things. So as they start continuing that conversation, the juvenile usually will fall prey to like, oh, this person likes me, or oh, it's nude photos and I don't get to see those from a real person very often, or whatever, right? So they start to think, oh, it's okay to send back. As soon as these people send them, they start to pressure and they start asking. They ask over and over and over. They keep asking for nude photos. And again, this is somebody that the teenager doesn't know at all. But if they're really being pushy, that's red flag number 2. Why are you pushing for my nude photographs so hard, right? The next step is, when you send a nude photo or a video or sexually explicit or partially nude images or videos, they secretly record those things. So now they have a way to prove that you've sent it. And then they start to contact you. But this time their tone has changed. This time it's no longer, hey, I really like you, I want to send you this, we should get together, we should get married, or whatever their ruse is, right? Whatever the ruse is, they use that. This time it's demanding more, either more nudes or they want money. And they ask for money in gift cards, Bitcoin, whatever. They ask for you to send them money. And they threaten that if you don't, they will share it. And again, they've been friends with you. So now they've seen all your friends list And it's not hard to look and say, okay, your last name is Nene. Let's find all the other last names of Nene. They're probably related. So they start saying, I'm going to share this photo with this person and this person and this person. It makes the kid panic. And the kid says, oh my gosh. So they send money. But let me tell you, that does not make anything better. It doesn't stop. You can send $100. You can send $10,000. They're going to keep coming back. And as soon as you say no, you risk them sending it, or you risk worse, right? It has major consequences because now they have attachments to your bank account, your Venmo, whatever. They might hack into those things. It really makes them vulnerable. So here are my tips to stay safe from sextortion. Number one, do not add anyone you don't know in real life. And that's not because I don't think that there's good people out there that you could meet. It's because if you don't know them in real life, you don't know that they're safe. Or you don't have a way to tell us who they really are if sextortion occurs. At least if you know them in real life, IRL for some of you, right? If you know them in real life, you can call us and say, hey, Billy Joel has my nude photographs and now he's threatening to send it out. And we know who to go to because we know who you sent your nudes to. The second thing, don't send sexually explicit material to anyone. That's just the wisest thing. The safest way is to not send any of those. Because then that way, if your photos get out, whatever, your photos get out. They're not anything compromised or anything that's going to be embarrassing to you. So let them go out there. The next step that I recommend, step 3, is if you send nude photos and you start to think that maybe there's a concern this might not be real, report it. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they deal with child pornography, child sex abuse materials, what we call it. They deal with that all the time. And they're the ones who report that to us as law enforcement. So go to ncmec.org, ncmec.org, and have them report it through their cyber tip line. Also, you can go to takeitdown.ncmec.org. What that is it's a way for you to self-report nude photographs, partially nude photographs, or sexually explicit videos or content. You can report that to them without uploading your image to anything. You report that with the hash value, which is kind of like the digital fingerprint of the image, and they will immediately get it into their system, and any online service that sees that hash value come up will recognize it and immediately take that image down. So you can self-report it without anyone ever seeing your image as long as it's still on your device. And fourth, if you are ever sexually extorted, do not delete or block that person immediately until you report to law enforcement. Because a lot of times once you delete somebody or you block them, we lose that conversation. We need that evidence. We need that proof. So do what you can to mitigate it. Don't converse with him. Never send money because it never gets any better. But save that and immediately report to your local law enforcement agency or to ncmec.org or the FBI, whomever you feel comfortable with. Report to them so that we can start working on getting them. And I know it may seem like you're the only one that fell to this or that you're the only one out there that's ever been sexually extorted. You're not. You are not alone. In some cases, it helps solve 30 or 40 victims' cases by just one simple report. Your report may be what solves a whole string of them. And you're not alone. You didn't make a mistake. Parents, I urge you to always have open communication with your children. Children and teenagers, I urge you to have open conversations with your parents. Have open conversations. And if something comes up, immediately tell somebody who can help you. Tell somebody that you trust. Teenagers, tell your parents. Parents, be willing to listen openly and talk with them so that they know that you're a safe place, and work together to get it taken down and to get it taken care of. Nude photographs are like a bullet. Once you send them, they're out of there. They're not a boomerang. They don't come back to you. You can kind of control where you want it to go, but once it's out there, you don't control where it hits or where it lands ultimately. Please be safe out there. It's just not worth it. Stick around for my next safety tips coming up this week. We're going to be talking about more things to help keep you and your kids safe.